Welcome back to Jay's Gamepad, everybody. All my G's, all my gamers out there, welcome back. First and foremost, I'd like to ask if you could please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you like my content. So before we get into this review, I just want to make it crystal clear that I have played up to 40 to 50 hours of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and I also have the Platinum Trophy. So with that being said, let's get into this review. Let me give you a little backstory in regards to how I felt and how I now feel about the Star Wars franchise. Now, since Disney Star Wars bought Lucasfilm, they have literally fucked up the whole franchise from head to toe. The sequel trilogy films, garbage, trash. The only films I remotely liked was A Force Awakens, and I personally loved Rogue One. But overall, garbage. The animations, trash. The comics all over the place. The toys, what the fuck are they doing? And Disney giving EA the license to make Star Wars games, what the fuck? After that I was done, and the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back, was when Disney Star Wars basically split the fan base into two. After that I was done and dusted, game over. But you know what, up until a few months ago, I watched The Mandalorian season 1 and 2, I played games like Vader Immortal and Star Wars, A Jedi Fallen Order, godlike games. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it real, if it wasn't for these IPs, especially Vader Immortal and especially Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, I would still hate the franchise right now. But because of these games, I'm starting to fall back into love with Star Wars. And a lot of it is to do with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Let's talk about the concept and the story. Now, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a third-person action-adventure game developed by Respawn Intertainment and published by the evil corporation EA. The game literally picks up 5 years after the events of Revenge of the Sith and Order 66. It centers around you as the Jedi Padawan Cal Kaskas to find a Jedi holocron which contains a list of full sensitive users around the galaxy to hopefully rebuild the Jedi Fallen Order. To help Cal on his journey and his quest, he comes across characters like BD-1, a small droid which befriends and accompanies Cal everywhere he goes. BD-1 is really cool because the way he interacts with the world and actually helps in regards to the way that he actually played the game. BD-1 is literally the equivalent of R2-D2, but if you ask me, I think BD-1 is way more cuter and just as smart. We've also got other characters like Cher Junda, a former Jedi Knight turned mercenary. I'm not going to go into the details of her because her story has a big part of the actual story and lore of the actual game itself. We've also got other characters like Grease, the owner and pilot of the Stinger Mantis and Cher's friend. He's kind of like the father figure of the crew. And last but not least, we have Merrin, the last surviving member of the Night Sister clan, slash kind of like Cal's love interest, depending on how you look at relationships. But all these characters help to flesh out the main character himself and the character of the actual world and game itself. And they literally just all accompany him on his journey and quest. So really, really cool. During Cal's quest, you come across villains like the Second Sister and the Ninth Sister, both trained by the Dark Lord himself, Darth Vader, as part of the Imperial Inquisitor program. So they're both Inquisitors, and they are charged with hunting down the remaining Jedis and other Force users. And I just love the look and feel of these villains, especially the Second Sister. She don't fucking play, she is raw. I love her character, and especially because her character has a connection with some of the characters of the crew of the Mantis. I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a connection there and I love it. Another thing that I love about these villains as well is that regardless of what you're doing in the game and what planet you're on or who you're fighting, you always have this kind of like feeling that you're being hunted down by these villains, and I really enjoyed that a lot. With all the characters, the heroes and villains that's in this game, do you know what? The most important character in this game is actually the Mantis ship, which takes you to all these different homeworlds and planets that you get to experience on your adventure, like Begano and Sethu and Kashyyyk, which is the homeworld of the Wookiees. We've also got Dathomir, a blighted swamp and windy scorched cliff planet, also the birthplace of Merrin, and also the legendary Darth Maul himself. and Ilum, an ice planet which has a Jedi temple, so you get to experience that as well on your journey. And all these planets you can go back and forth depending on the story, and they are just so different from each other. I love how different they are, that whole feeling of different planets, different adventures and stuff like that. And you've also got other planets that you can go to but you can't go back and forth, like Bracca, which is the junk world planet that you start off on. You've got Ordo Eris, like a space station. I'm not even going to really talk about that because it's like a small segment, but I don't want to spoil it, but it's really cool. And you've got Nur, which is the Inquisitor Fortress, the final stage, the final world. And I love the look of that planet. I love the look of like the whole place, the feeling. I mean, it's got that whole feeling of dread, and this is like the final stage, the final world. And just all these planets, they give you that feeling of like real adventure in like a real Star Wars galaxy, in a like real Star Wars film. Let's talk about the gameplay. Now, if I had to describe this game, I would say it's a mixture between Uncharted, Dark Souls and Metroidvania, which is a good thing in my books because the combat system in this game is so in-depth. It's fun, it's flashy, it's hard, but in a good way. The lightsaber combat is nice and smooth with a large range of moves in regard to the single and double-sided lightsaber, and the way you're able to mix up in between the both in combat and combos. And you're also able to split your double-sided lightsaber into two during some combos, which is so cool and so much fun as well. I just love to see the lightsaber cutting into stormtroopers and enemies. You get that real satisfaction in regard to the lightsaber combat. And you can clearly see in this game that blocking and parrying and using combos at the right time is very important in this game, because if you don't, you're gonna get fucked up, believe me. And believe me when I say this, that tapping buttons and just trying to do combos in this game isn't gonna get you anywhere. You have to be really focused, and you have to utilize the blocking and parrying to its full potential to get the best out of this game. Believe that. The force abilities, the force powers in this game are so much fun. Picking up enemies and items and dashing them across the screen like they're ragdolls, so much fun, so satisfying, as well as being able to use force push, pull and freezing enemies and items and things, which is so cool. And force blast as well. It's just so satisfying. Running on walls and climbing and swinging on ropes feels so good and smooth. That Uncharted aspect that I was talking about before. And BD1 helping you to fight with the hacking and stunning enemies like stormtroopers and other droids and monsters and bounty hunters. All these elements help to flesh out the combat system and makes me want to keep on playing this game and makes me want to come back to this game. That's what makes this game fun. This game is fun, enjoyable and satisfying. For a Star Wars game, you can't ask for anything more than that. You want to be a Jedi, you are a Jedi. You want to use the Force abilities, you can use the Force abilities. You want to use a lightsaber or a double-sided lightsaber or split them into two, you can do that too. Everything is in this game if you love Star Wars, and that's why I love the combat system in this game. Now, to get all these abilities and play with them and really enjoy this game, you're going to need skill points. Skill points for the skill tree, which is accessible through the meditation spots, which is littered all around the world, all around the stage. And the skill tree is basically split into three segments, three focuses. You've got the force focus, the lightsaber focus and the survival focus, which you can only get through combat, finding item boxes, completing levels and stages. You can also get through story different abilities for your character, as well as BD1 to access certain points in the game that you couldn't access before. So that's really important. And you can also rest and get your life back, as well as use the meditation spots as save points. So all these points in the game, all these aspects of the game are very important. Now, the only issues that I have in regard to the combat in this game is that I wish you could fight with a split lightsaber as a fighting style. Just like the single-handed lightsaber and the double-sided lightsaber, they got their own move list, they got their own fighting style. I wish you could do the same with the split lightsaber. I wish it could have its own fighting style. That'd be so cool as well. It hints, it teases it, because you get to use it in the combo, but to have its own fighting style would have been so cool. It would have fleshed out the combat system even more. So I wish that was in there. Also, the fact that you can't cut any limbs, you can't sever any heads or cut any bodies in half, which is so weird to me. When you're fighting stormtroopers, bounty hunters, you can't sever any heads or legs or arms off them. It's weird because when you're fighting certain monsters, you can split them in half, you can cut them in half, chop them in half. But when you're fighting human enemies, you can't do that. So I wish that was in the game. Also, when you die in this game takes so long to load back up into the game. Just like how I just said it takes too long to load back into the game. I don't understand it. This game is really good. The combat system is so good. The world is amazing. Why does this game take so long to load back into it? I don't get it. I can actually go to the toilet, take a piss, take a shit, go and get a drink, come back, and the game still ain't loaded back up. I don't get it. This game takes so long. They need to fix that. I so wish that the loading time wasn't as long as it is. And last but not least, I so wish that in New Game Plus, other than the 5 planets, the 5 major planets that you can go back to in New Game Plus, I wish you can go back to every single planet and stage that you play in this game. And you can't, and that's so annoying because these other stages, it's like 3-4 other stages other than the 5 main stages that you can't go to, and they are so fun, they are so cool. I wish you could go back in New Game Plus and you can't. So EA, Respawn Entertainment, please patch it, do something, you know what I'm saying? Like, please make it so we can go back to the other stages as well. And I just hope and pray that we can get an update to add some of these features, and if not in this game, maybe in the second game. But they are literally the only things, the only issues that I have in regard to the gameplay of this game. But they're minor issues. I still love the game, I still have so much fun with the game, I'm still enjoying it, and I'm still replaying it. So there you go. Let's talk about the graphics and animation in this game. The graphics and animation in this game look phenomenal. I don't have any real issues. Like, everything just looks really good. High level graphics, high level design, high level animation. That's all I've really got to say. The character designs in this game, I love them. I love the design of the main character. I love the look. I just love the look of the crew, their designs, the aliens, the stormtroopers. I love the design of this world. I love the designs of the characters. The face animation and the lip syncing, on point, no issue at all, no complaints. The lightsaber customization in this game is beautiful. It's probably one of the biggest highlights of this game, the fact that you can customize your lightsaber so in depth. It's next level. And the fact you can pick and use different color kyber crystals. That's it, say no more. I love that. I'm in love with that shit, you know what I mean? I'm in love with the lightsaber customization. The ship customization. You can pick different paintwork and stuff, and you can probably give it like its own feelings, own style into the Mantis ship. I love that too, you know what I'm saying? Because the Mantis ship is just as much as a character as the main character, if you ask me. And you got BD1, you know what I'm saying? Like your partner in crime. You can get different designs like paintwork for BD1. I love that as well, you know what I'm saying? You can customize BD1 as much as you can customize yourself. You can customize the main character with different ponchos and like different color outfits. Even though different color outfits, you only get like about 3-4 of them, but you can still customize it, get different variations and stuff, no real complaints. And the stages, the look of the, do you know what? The look of the planets. The look of the planets are beautiful. Every planet looks and feels different from each other. Like, you go to like a jungle stage, go to an ice planet, go to like this desert, dried up. It's like different colors, different tones, and they look beautiful. And the weather dynamics as well. Weather dynamics is top tier in this game. I have no complaints. I love the weather dynamics. The weather dynamics are important because they flesh out the planets, they flesh out the worlds. If you don't have the wind, I mean the heavy winds, the rains, and all them kind of weather dynamics and the clouds or whatever it's going to be, then the planets are not going to look authentic, and they do, because the weather dynamics, the weather mechanics in this game are good. And the fact you got a photo mode, I love that, because like I said, this game looks beautiful. You need photo mode. If you ain't got photo mode for a game that looks as good as this, what are you doing? Photo mode is just a beautiful feature. I really enjoyed using it, and I've created some wonderful photos, some wonderful pictures with photo mode. So yes, this game, graphics and animation is phenomenal. Now, after saying all them good things about the graphics and animation, I do have a few issues. And the issues that I have are the stages and enemies seem to have quite a few graphical pop-ins. Now, I've noticed that there'll be times where I'll be playing the game and like stormtroopers will just pop out of nowhere, or like graphical textures will be popping in as I'm playing it, so it's like loading up and stuff. So I've noticed that quite a lot. Also, there's been other times where I'll be playing the game and I might jump or do something and the game will just freeze. And I don't know if it's because it's loading in certain parts of the stage, but that's happened quite a few times. And I'll be sitting there thinking to myself, oh shit, like has the game just crashed? Then the game will just like pop back in and like unfreeze itself and it will just start working again. And I don't know if it's like a engine issue or if it's a hardware issue, but it happened quite a lot. Like not enough for me to be like, you know, like immersion game breaking, but it happened quite a few times to the point where I did notice it and I was like, what is going on? And last but not least, I hate the fucking ponchos. Like I spoke about Cal Casker's, the character designs and the customization. I hate the ponchos. I really hate them. I don't like the ponchos in general. All the designs and the customization for the ponchos are horrible. And I just hope and pray that in the second game they cut that shit out, innit? Because my character, he don't wear the poncho. You know what I mean? Poncho? What poncho? I don't know what you're talking about. He don't know what you're talking about, because we don't like the poncho. So I just wanted to just say that. But yeah, they're the only things that I don't particularly you know what I mean, like I had issues with in regard to the graphics and animation of this game. But again, there's so many good points. I mean, like the good points outweigh these minor issues, and I still love the look and the feel of this game. Let's talk about the sound effects, score and music. Beautiful. That's all I have to really fucking say. The sound effects and the score and music in this game, phenomenal. The voice actors, they did a phenomenal job. On point. A1 performance from all the actors. They brought the characters to life, whether they were playing the droid, whether they were playing Cal, whether they were playing a stormtrooper or the second sister or whoever it was, or whatever it was, whether it was some alien or some, whatever it was, the sound effects in this game, the voice acting in this game, you know what I mean, the artistry, so beautiful, on point, nothing bad to say. The sound effects for the lightsaber are beautiful. The sounds of the ships, the droids, the stormtroopers, like I go on and on. It just feels like Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars. And because it sounded like Star Wars, it felt like Star Wars. The soundtrack, the score by Stephen Burton and George Hab. Like the whole, I mean the whole score, the soundtrack, it sounded like it was John Williams himself. It's like he did it. I mean, it's like John reincarnated himself into these two musicians, into these two artists. It sounds like John Williams, and so much so they even had certain tunes, like the Return of the Sith, like the Order 66 music. It was just like beautiful. I mean, like certain little gems and elements like into the music and stuff. It's so good. You know, and I just love the sound of this game. Like I said, it fleshes out the game. It makes this game feel like Star Wars, and it feels like Star Wars because it sounds like Star Wars. That's why. So I love the sound effects, I love the score, and I love the music. Let's talk about if this game has replayability. Now, does it have replayability? Yes, it does. Why? Because it has New Game Plus. Now, I'm always gonna say this. Other than whether a game is good or bad, if a game has got New Game Plus, it's got automatic replayability. Regardless. So the moment that you put a feature like New Game Plus into the game, come on now. It's got replayability. If you add extra DLC, replayability. If you enjoy the game, replayability. If you add modes like Bloody Palace or like Combat Challenge or Battle Grid, replayability. If you're adding extra content and giving reasons for gamers to go back to play a game, then the game has replayability. Now, I always say that if a game got New Game Plus, or if the game is just really good and you put it down and give it like 3 to 6 months, you pick it back up again and you're playing it, that game has replayability, even without New Game Plus. So the fact that it has that is guaranteed. Like, it's got so much. Now, this game has got a lot in terms of replayability. You could play it normally, the story mode, do New Game Plus, do battle challenges, or you can just do the battle grid. You've got at least 4 to 5 reasons to pick up this game and play it again. And if you love Star Wars, and if you play this game and you enjoyed it, this game has replayability. Let's talk about my final thoughts. Now, when I play and finish a game, I ask myself a bunch of questions. And one of the questions I always ask myself is, who is this game for? Now, I ask myself that because depending on who you are, where you're coming from, your experiences, you might feel a certain way. But if you're a Star Wars fan, or you was a Star Wars fan, or you just love Star Wars in general, or you fell out of love with Star Wars but you want to fall back in love with Star Wars, then this is the game for you. If you love open world games with good storytelling, beautiful characters, beautiful worlds to explore, beautiful music, beautiful scores, then this is the game for you. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is one of them games that I can't believe that I waited so long to play. I understand why I waited so long, because of my hate for Disney Star Wars, my disdain for Disney Star Wars. They fucked up my love for Star Wars. Outside my house, I have a Star Wars door mat. As I'm speaking to you now, I've got a Star Wars t-shirt on. I have every Star Wars film. I grew up with Star Wars. Star Wars is a part of my life, like my culture is a part of my life. I love Star Wars. But it got to a point where Disney Star Wars fucked it up for me. It fucked it up for me and people like me. Split the fan base into two. And because of that, I waited so long to play and experience a game like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Because of the bullshit that Disney was coming with, and because of EA. I can't stand EA games. But I let all these things stop me from playing such a beautiful, god-like game. I love this game. Like I said before, The Mandalorian, Vader Immortal, Jedi Fallen Order. These are three pillars in my life right now that has got me to start falling back in love with Star Wars. This game is beautiful, this game is fun, this game is so many things. So I have to strongly recommend this game to anybody that hasn't played it. If you haven't played it, go and pick it up. You can pick it up for around about 20 to 25 pounds. This game is so worth it. So with that being said, I have to give you my final score. And my final score has to be a very strong 8.5 out of 10 with a strong recommendation to buy it and keep this game. You have to keep this game. Strong recommendation. 8.5 out of 10. So that is my final thoughts and my final score. So that is the end of my review of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, again, please like and subscribe and hit the bell notification if you enjoy any of my content. You can also hit me up on the socials, on Twitter, Instagram and Twitch. And with that being said, I guess I will see you and speak to you real soon.